president of the Democratic Women of McDonough County. I'm also a precinct committee person for Precinct 1 in Macomb. And I'm also the digital media director for the Illinois Democratic Women statewide. And I'm so thrilled to be here. I am so excited about Emiliano's candidacy. Now, as Democratic women, our group does not endorse candidates in the primary. Instead, we want a really robust primary. We love issues being talked about. We cannot solve problems that we don't talk about in our district. And one of the things that I'm especially appreciative of is, let's talk a little bit about how hard our district is, right? To run as a Dem in. We are asking people to willingly step up for a battle that they're gonna have that we're not sure whether or not we're gonna get them over the line. However, we know that they're gonna be subjected to a lot of abuse. They're gonna be subjected to a lot of negative comments. And that is asking somebody to take on a lot. And yet Emiliano has been willing to do that for us. And he is going around and helping educate our voters, because one of the things that we aren't so great at around here is making sure our voters not only know the issues, but know what is possible to do about the issues. And one of the things that we've discovered is that we have a rep and senator currently who have learned that if they don't show up in public spaces, then their constituents can't ask them questions, which means that those things never get talked about and people aren't always aware of what could happen. But I know that one of the things that I would love to see here, and I know that Emiliano would bring this here, is constituent services. So just for example, his opponent had $4 million to bring back to our district after this last session, and we have no idea how it got spent. We're never told. It certainly does not get spent the way that a lot of our Democrats spend it. So let me tell you what a Democratic representative would look like here in McDonough County. We would get job fairs, because that's what Democratic reps do for their districts. They take that money and they go back and they do job fairs. They do property tax appeal seminars. They do health fairs. They do free dental workshops for children who need them. They talk about healthcare benefits. They help people solve problems. They talk about small business development. And I know that Emiliano believes in decoupling healthcare from small businesses, because that is a real problem. Small businesses do need to not be on the hook for providing healthcare for their employees, because what happens then? Then they can take that money and they can hire somebody temporarily so they can give sick leave to an employee who needs it. They can give more generous vacation benefits. They can sink that money back into expanding their business. So really decoupling healthcare from that issue would be a big help to all of our most vulnerable people. Another thing that happens with Democratic reps and senators, they often will hold business seminars for people that want to have small businesses working out of their homes. Those things are not being held at all in our district. We don't get any of these services whatsoever, and I promise you we've been asking for them 4 years in a row. We have been every month sending people to ask, and we do not ever hear back, and that stuff just never happens around here. So I'm so thrilled to know we have a chance to bring those constituent services here, because we've already paid for them, and our people need them and deserve them. And that could really change things for our community and make it the vibrant, multicultural, welcoming community that can grow and survive tough times. So now I get to introduce somebody here, Rep. Mike Halpin. He is up in Rock Island, and that's up where our Quad Cities campus is, and we're so thrilled to bring him today. He is the representative in the Illinois 72nd District, and I'd like you all to give a warm welcome for our Rep. Mike Halpin.
Thank you, Heather, and thank you for everyone for being here. Thank you, Emiliano, for inviting me to speak. And I won't keep you too long tonight, but I do have, I guess, some words to share and some ideas to share with you. I do represent the Quad Cities area. I'm from Rock Island. My district is all within Rock Island County. It's about 3/4 of the county. But I was first elected in 2016, but my experience with the Democratic Party and Democratic officials goes back much further than that. I first came to Illinois essentially via a staff assistant to former Congressman Lane Evans, who represented this area for many, many years, and who I had the privilege to travel down here with on many occasions. And that's what I really wanted to talk to you about today, is some of the things I learned from him and what I learned about Western Illinois. I'm actually originally from upstate New York, so coming to Illinois was a little bit different, although upstate New York is not all that different from downstate Illinois. We have a big city that we like to think is a blessing and a curse sometimes. But from my experience here in Western Illinois, there's a strong, very strong democratic value system here in McDonough County, throughout Western Illinois, up in the Quad Cities, that I think has been slipping away because we have Republicans who are trying to co-opt that and are appealing to our most basis instincts. And we need to reverse that trend. I think many of you know on the national level, our current administration is tapping into a lot of anger, a lot of angst about economic conditions. Now he's doing it the wrong way, but the thing that he's focusing on, the thing that's appealing to a lot of people in our communities, is very real. And what we need to do as Democrats, especially in this area, is offer an alternative to that economic anxiety. And it's not to blame the other. It's not to blame people that are different than you, or people you suspect are somehow abusing the system and the country, the great country that we're providing. The answer is to say that we're all in this together. And it's not me against you, it's me against the big corporation that is keeping our wages down. It's about the health insurance industry that's doing everything they can to maintain enormous profits at the expense of the people that are actually sick and injured. It's about businesses that don't want to provide sick leave. I mean, there are many small businesses, as Heather mentioned, they simply just can't. The economics of it just don't work. But there are corporations in this country that are bringing in millions, if not billions of dollars that could afford it, but just choose not to. And so we need, as Democrats, to point these things out to people in our communities, to make sure that we know we are fighting for you, and we want you to fight alongside us against those moneyed interests. And I've been doing that the best I can in Springfield for the past 3 years. And with our current administration in the governor's mansion, we're actually turning the tide and trying to do some of these things, raising the minimum wage to $15. I don't think it's soon enough, but we're going to do it over the next 5 years. We're making sure that when we talk about our construction projects, we passed a capital bill, $45 billion. A lot of that's going to go into state and local roads and bridges. And we're making sure that there are project labor agreements there. We're making sure that prevailing wage laws are being enforced. We're making sure that we're preventing local communities from going so-called right to work, which is a right to work for less. We're doing all these things because we have a governor that is supportive of it, and we know that the people support us and back us back home. So we're very proud, especially in just 6 months, of how much we've been able to do for working people, not just in Chicago, not just in the Quad Cities or Peoria, some of the more urban areas. These things are going to affect people positively and lift up the middle class in places like Macomb, even Quincy. I don't think Quincy's in your would be in your district. Yeah, but places like that. These are the things that we have to do, and I think we can convince those people that that have tapped into this Trump message and say there is an alternative. There is a better choice than fear and anger. It's unity, it's solidarity, it's working together to achieve these kind of economic goals. So I'm excited to be a part of that right now, but I can tell you that we need to have more people of that mindset in the Illinois legislature. We have many Republicans that, although they may have softened a little bit since Governor Rauner is gone and isn't holding billions of dollars over their head to avoid doing what's right, and I think some of them have made the right decision on a couple of issues. The fact is that the more Democrats we have that share those economic values, the better off the state of Illinois is going to be. And absolutely. And so having gotten to meet Emiliano when he was working on Greg Johnson's campaign for state senate last year, I know that he is a person that shares those democratic values and wants to lift up middle-class families, wants to lift up the working class and working poor to make sure that they have every opportunity they have, that their parents' generation had, that their grandparents' generation I know it's dear to his heart. I know that should be a winning message in this area. And so I'm just really happy to be here, and I wish him the best. I know he's already out knocking on doors, talking to people, which is, half the battle, 75% of the battle. And I think that's the kind of thing that makes the difference at the end of the day. If you can have that one-on-one conversation, share your democratic values, tell them that there is another way to get that economic stability, that's the way to go. So I don't know if I'm officially introducing him, but I think he's gonna talk next. And just thank you for allowing me to come down here. I'm gonna be sticking around for a while as the music gets started. I'm happy to talk to anyone individually, answer any questions you might have. I guess before I turn it over, it reminds me that when you talk about constituent service, working for Lane, that was one of his priorities. The message was, even when you can't get the big things done in DC, you can't pass that landmark legislation, or you can't pass it in Springfield. The one thing you can do is help your constituent with the most important thing to them that day, which is whatever that issue is: Social Security denial, Department of Revenue issue, in Illinois driver services, trying to get a driver's license, or getting your Medicaid application reviewed. Those are the kind of things that make a huge difference in people's lives, as much as or more than that big legislation that I'm so proud to have passed, but it doesn't actually necessarily help someone that individual day. So I know that one of the things I've done is, had town hall meetings, which is probably something that doesn't happen a lot down here.
Never.
And I'm happy to answer a tough question. It may surprise you, but not everybody in my district agrees with me. There are plenty of people that don't think workers should be making a living wage. There are people that don't think everyone has a right to health care. But I'm willing to have those town halls, answer those questions, honestly answer why we doubled the gas tax. And there's a reason for that, and that's because if we want to have nice roads in Illinois, we got to make the investment to pay for them. And so I'm willing to put myself out there, have those difficult conversations, and at the end of them, you don't have to agree with me, but as a representative, you need to represent. And the only way to find out what to represent is to find out what your constituents think, whether it's good or bad. And so I know people like McDonough will follow that example and will meet with constituents, whatever their political stripe, and try to find out exactly what they need and whether or not the state of Illinois can help them out. So with that, I will turn over the mic. You don't want to keep it in my hands for too long, and introduce me. I don't know, although I know all of you already know him, but here we go.
Thank you so much for everyone for being here. I see a lot of people from Bushnell, and I see a lot of people from Macomb as well, who I've just met pretty much in the last year, since I've started getting out of Bushnell a little bit more and getting more involved in the community in a broader sense. And really, I think of this run as something of just continuing that community service that I have been involved in since I was in elementary school, and serving more people and doing it more effectively than what I ever could have before. So it really, really means a lot to me that everyone is here. And I think, so we have people who are here who are Democrats, we have people who are here who are Republicans, and we have people who are here who probably, like me and most of my generation, did not really get involved in politics until relatively recently, if at all maybe. A lot of people here maybe are just people who have not really been active politically, quote unquote, at all. And so I really appreciate that you're all here, and I want to say that regardless of who you vote for or don't vote for, we are all here because we are workers. We are working class people. We work for our daily bread pretty much, or we're retired and put in 40, 50 years to earn that retirement so that you could have a decent life for yourself and for your children and your families. And that is, at the end of the day, what unites us and what we need to be cannot afford to have two parties that represent the interests of big business. We have to have at least one party, and we have a two-party system, so that leaves 1 and 1. We have to have one party that represents the workers and working people and retired people, and that's it. That they're not giving winks to the wealthy at the same time as they are allowing us to have some of the scraps that they can allow us to have. So, whatever your political affiliation, I want to say thank you for being here, and I'm hearing you, I'm listening to you, you're my family, and this is why I'm here. And then I want to also give a big round of applause to my mom, who is really the reason why I'm here. In every way, physical, and all of that. So, we are going to get started, so the band can start to play. Since we're a little bit over time, we have like a good mingling session, so it's fine. But so please, we will go table by table for the food. There's plenty of everything, but we're going to go table by table because it's kind of a cramped space. So, is there anything else?
I'll go check everything and then I'll come out and call
Okay.
the tables.
All right. So yeah, thank you